This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Ooh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Hello, I am Sayida Rivers Farmer. I am a soloist with Old South's Gospel Choir. This month, we have explored the roots of Black American music through spirituals, songs of protest, and jazz. But this week, we are coming back to the church learning about gospel music. The word gospel means good news and refers to the teachings of Jesus Christ. In fact, the 4 books of the Bible that tell the stories of Jesus' life are the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Gospel music, both black and white, has its roots in the late 19th century Congregational church singing. But Black gospel music has a special relationship with secular or popular music of the day. Instead of church music and popular music being separate, they influenced and borrowed from each other. The earliest gospel music drew heavily on other kinds of Black music like the blues, spiritual, and ragtime. You can hear it in gospel syncopation and improvisation. But in the early 1900s, a fusion of popular music and congregational singing began to be heard in storefront churches and traveling revival tents, eventually making it into established churches as well. Gospel music as we know it was born. Artist Thomas A. Dorsey was instrumental in bringing this new Black gospel style to a wider audience. He was an established blues musician who crossed over into gospel music after experiencing a deep personal conversion. Dorsey came to be known as the father of gospel music. Dorsey's gospel music was unique in its focus on emotion, expressions of personal faith, and an openness to the Holy Spirit. You know the song, "Precious Lord, take my hand." He wrote that song in response to the loss of his first wife and their son shortly after his son's birth. This song still touches people across the world and can be found in your own New Century hymnal. While there has always been individual gospel singers, most people will associate this kind of music with a gospel choir. Thomas Dorsey was instrumental in the rise of the gospel choir. Gospel choirs sing tight vocal harmonies, and these groups helps to expand gospel music into an even wider audience. Dorsey crossed over from blues into gospel. Unlike other kinds of music, gospel music has always been in conversation with whatever the popular music of the day is. Aretha Franklin crossed in the other direction, singing gospels into popular music outside of the church. Aretha grew up singing gospel in her preacher father's church in Detroit, even traveling with her dad's gospel caravan tours. When she began to make recordings, they were not gospel records. She hit it big with soul, jazz, and R&B music way before even recording her first gospel album. Because she already had a huge following, the album Amazing Grace introduced a whole new set of listeners to gospel music. Now, you may have noticed that some church folk don't like to change things. This was true back when gospel music started as well. Many folks spoke out against any church music that sounded like popular music. But for other people like myself, gospel music makes church-going feel more accessible. It helps us to understand more about the faith because we are more authentically connected with the music. That is good news. Today, gospel music is still created by artists like Kirk Franklin, who writes gospel choir anthems, and the famous Clark sisters, who are the highest-selling female gospel group in history. Gospel music has a huge following worldwide and is truly one of the most unique, fastest-growing musical genres. This wraps up our exploration of the roots in Black American music. We hope you have gained a deeper appreciation of the immeasurable influences Black Americans have had across all genres of music, and the empowering, soul-stirring hope and joy that spirituals, jazz music, songs of protest, and gospel music continue to bring the world.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.